Hi everybody, my name is Katie. Thank you for tuning in to my video about Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I was recently diagnosed back in June with Hashimoto's and also a nodule being present, but they weren't sure whether or not it was cancerous. All due to a lump in my throat sensation. Globus is what they call it. More or less, it was just something I think that prompted me to go to the doctor to find out I have a thyroid problem. But I wanted to discuss some of the troubles that I encountered while going through the endos and going through my primary care physician and fighting to actually get put on Synthroid after a year of feeling the symptoms. Now, if you're like me, who you have Hashimoto's, but your thyroid is functioning fine, meaning on your lab results, your TSH, it's in the normal range. So they're not offering treatment. They're saying, hey, sorry, we can't give you the medicine yet. Your antibodies might be high, but your thyroid is just not there yet. That's bullcrap. And I had it out with quite a few doctors. Unfortunately, in their textbook, it says until a thyroid hormone goes out of range, then and only then will a patient feel symptoms. Well, what they don't understand is the time that blood work is drawn. And I don't give a shit personally if you're fasting or if you're not, that they could have caught it when it was normal. But then they don't see you for the next week, 2 weeks, where it's fluctuating and probably bouncing up and down, because that's what you do with Hashimoto's. Your thyroid goes back and forth, until it finally just goes, and it goes haywire. For those of you who've never taken Synthroid before, I am on my second week of a very, very low dose of 50 mcgs. So we'll see how I do with that. I have noticed some hair loss with it, but nothing excessive, minor shedding. The depression, I can't say has gotten any better. My doctor recommended, as I said, every SSRI medication under the sun. Abilify, Zoloft, Cymbalta, Lexapro, and I finally came to the conclusion that an SSRI is not designed to make someone feel a sense of euphoria when there isn't an issue of serotonin and dopamine receptors. This strictly involves the thyroid. The thyroid is what is making you feel depressed. And once they correct that issue, you have to kind of help coax it along. You have to maybe do more things because you do have a little bit more energy. But SSRI medications aren't necessarily going to work for people who suffer with thyroid issues. For some it may. I never got relief from it. I have more along the lines of agoraphobia, being afraid to go around the general public because of the weight gain associated with Hashimoto's. I'm sure a lot of you experience weight fluctuations to where 1 week you're 10 pounds lighter and maybe then next month you are 20 pounds heavier and you're going, what did I do? And there's no way to control it, unfortunately, but proper diet and exercise. And even then, that doesn't help. I can promise you that much. Back to the Synthroid though. If you're fearful of Synthroid, because if you do some research on it, it has terrible reviews, absolutely terrible reviews, and it scared the hell out of me about trying the medicine. Some people claim they gained weight on it, some people said they lost, which very few said they lost any weight on Synthroid, and that freaked me out. Because if any of you are like me, where if you gain about 10 pounds, you're tipping the scale to being pretty fat, so you definitely don't want a medicine that's going to cause you to gain weight. What I have experience with the Synthroid, no weight gain. It actually helped me maintain my weight. I don't think it's going to do any more than that. Medicines I've encountered that have helped me lose weight, even with Hashimoto's, Topamax. And also a new antidepressant they just put me on called Wellbutrin. And I smoke terribly, so hopefully the Wellbutrin, which is commonly used for smoking cessation as well, will help mellow everything out. But the Topamax by far was the best mood stabilizer and weight control medicine. like I said, back to the SSRIs, I did not respond well to them at all. So Topamax has an off-label usage for stabilizing moods. It's almost like an antidepressant. Commonly, it is a seizure medicine. It is, and can also be administered to prevent migraines. But I'm telling you, you could eat anything you wanted while taking this medicine and you will gain, or excuse me, you will lose weight. I was eating fast food consecutively for 2 to 3 weeks at a time because we just moved and we didn't feel like doing the cooking thing. And I went back to the doctor and I was expecting to hear, you gained 15 pounds. No, she's like, oh my gosh, you've lost 8 pounds already. I was like, what? How can that be? I didn't know Taco Bell was, healthy. But that is something I strongly recommend. It is tough too if you don't have any support, if you have 0 people to talk to that understand exactly what Hashimoto's is. People assume once you get put on the Synthroid, you're taken care of, you're fine for the rest of your life. You still have it. I mean, it doesn't help take away every single symptom. And when you don't have that support, it definitely complicates things because you feel like you're alone. And with not a lot of research, being done with Hashimoto's because they believe Synthroid's the answer to everything, I, strongly recommend educating yourself and educating definitely on new techniques and procedures. And if you have a nodule and you are scared and they don't think it's time to biopsy it, you fight for that biopsy. You fight for it. You tell them that you will not stand for it, or you'll take yourself elsewhere. Because I had to fight for my biopsy. And I was very, very blessed that it was follicular benign cells. Very blessed, because follicular cancer can be pretty bad of the thyroid. And it had all the characteristics of it being cancer. Hypoechoic, solid. That's, doctors were telling me to prepare myself. And I stopped living. I seriously stopped living. It was problem after problem. I had gotten diagnosed with Hashimoto's. I had MRSA in my face that almost killed me. And then they told me, hey, sorry, your nodule, is looking like it might be cancerous. I just withdrew myself from everybody. And that was the worst thing that you could do. But at the same time, it's the best thing you can do. You can't really depend on anybody but yourself because you are the one going through this illness. But if you have someone that is willing to listen to you and at least empathize with what you might be going through, that's good. Empathy is what you need for right now. But you have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet when you go and get that biopsy done, because nobody can hold your hand if you fall into that category. And even if you have thyroid cancer, I'm going to say my condolences, because even thinking that I might have had it, I have such a different amount of respect for cancer patients than what I did before. You look at people that are bald and they have the rags on their head and you think, oh, that's so sad, that person has cancer. And you, in the back of your mind, are kind of like, well, I don't have it, so I'm just going to go on throughout my day. But then when push comes to shove and somebody tells you it's a possibility, your demeanor changes so much. It really does. And then you start reflecting on how maybe you didn't help them, bag their groceries, that woman with the scarf on her head. It just makes you think how cruel some people can be and how much we don't understand the lack of compassion and humanity. And that's what everybody needs. Everybody needs support. So thank you for listening to my rant. If I answered anybody's questions or encouraged anybody to fight, to say, hey, I am symptomatic even though my levels are not there yet, you go for it. And you definitely push and try to stay as healthy as possible. Till then, bye.